to live together. I'm Hannah.
I'm Kris. We used to live together. Wow, that's so funny. Welcome back, roomies. What happened there? I don't know.
I made eye contact with you, and then it was.
I've got the giggies. The giggles. The
The
giggles.
googies.
I've got the giggles.
Same.
Hi, roomies. Welcome back.
Hi.
We are here.
Barely? Physically, yes.
Yes.
Mentally,
And spiritually?
jury's still out.
Who knows? What's good, my dude?
I don't know if you're familiar with a new artist who's just kind of came on the scene. Her name is Beyonce.
Let's not get into that again. Yes, the underground artist, Beyonce, yes.
She released a new album.
I heard.
It's so good.
Cowboy Carter.
Have you listened?
I've listened.
Are you obsessed? Because I feel like it's right up your alley.
It is. Some of the songs were like, whoa, okay, I like this. Like the one with Miley.
Yeah.
First of all, I didn't know she was going to have guests on it. And then I heard her voice and I was like, wait a second. Is that Hannah Montana?
The Hannah Montana?
Montana. And it was. And I like it. Tell me, you obviously feel passionate about this.
I really like the vibe.
You're a country gal.
Kinda.
Yeah.
I dabble.
Yeah.
When the sun is out, there's nothing. When it's Friday night, there's nothing like a chicken fry and a cold beer on a Friday night.
You're a Cheryl. Not a Cheryl. What's her name? Shania Twain. I was gonna say Sheryl Crow.
Shania Twain. I'm a Twainer. No, I like the vibe.
Yeah.
I was expecting you to be really excited about the Jolene, her rendition of Jolene.
And that's another one that
you love that song.
Do I love that song?
Yeah, I feel like you always tell me when there's like a new version.
No.
Or you're like, this song is like the Jolene's
I do have
perspective.
okay. That's a different song, but yes, okay.
Like you're just obsessed with the story.
I love the narrative, and I will talk about it right now.
Live.
So, I have a couple things to say. Number one, I hate that it's like Jolene, don't take my man. Like it's all about Dolly is like saying, please don't do this, and no one is talking about her husband or her man taking responsibility, because it's not. It's like a two-way it's a two-way street. It's like it's not just because this gal is coming into town and like stealing everyone's guys. It's like, no, like your men are responsible for their actions. Yeah. So just like
step up.
You should be saying, this song should be about your guy telling him, hey, you better not get with Jolene. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I hear that.
Now, the other song you're referring to, the response, if you guys haven't heard the response song to Jolene, it's a song called Diane by Cam. The artist is Cam. And she is singing from the perspective of Diane. And I think it's so sweet and so tender because the story, that narrative is she didn't know that the husband was married. So like he kind of led her on, and now she's apologizing to Jolene, saying like, hey, if I had known, I wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
And I think it's this like sweet like moment of women supporting women.
Yeah, we love that.
Yeah. Anyway, so Beyonce, great.
It's a great album. I need you to listen to give Yaya.
I just heard that today.
Okay.
Yes.
I was like, you need to give that one another.
No, I want to do, because like listening it to the first time, you're kind of getting acclimated, and then the second time you're like, okay, you're kind of feeling out which songs you like. So I'll listen to it again and
report back.
What's
good with you, my dude?
Have you ever heard of anime?
Yeah. Anime or animation?
That's different. Anime is, of course, as you know, cartoons usually originating from Japan.
Yes.
And I have recently got into one that I'm a little late to this party. I think it started a few years ago, but I'm just getting into it. Have you ever heard of Attack on Titan?
I have.
Have you?
I've seen the first episode.
How?
With Lorenzo.
I didn't know you guys watched it.
No, we watched the first episode.
Oh, and
that was it.
How long ago was that?
Maybe like a year or two ago.
Okay, well, I just got into it this year because I'm in between shows, and I was like, I need just like a quick little 20-minute something.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, let's try Attack on Titan. I tried it once before. I didn't get into it right away, and so I wanted to give it a second chance. So Attack on Titan, I am now in season 3.
Wow.
Partly because it's a great show, right? And I'm kind of burning through it. But I love that the episodes are so fast. They're like 20 minutes. And I'm not trying to flex here, but I have the Hulu without ads.
Oh my God.
So I'm just saying, these episodes go fast.
Wow.
So if you're interested in just kind of dipping your toe.
From what I remember, it's like the first episode is really sad.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people die.
Yeah. And but no, I thought it was good and entertaining.
It's definitely not for the faint of heart. It's kind of gory and graphic.
Mm-hmm.
And there are some heavy themes that are explored.
Question.
Yes.
Is Avatar The Last Airbender anime?
Technically not, because it's an American-made
I see.
cartoon. But it is the style. The style is very of that kind of brand of art. So, and this animation is very good for Attack on Titan. Really good animation.
How many seasons is it?
There's 5 seasons, but the not every season has the same number of episodes. Mm-hmm. So, like, I just finished season 2. I didn't even know I was at the end because there was only like 12 episodes.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, it's over. So now I'm on season 3. But anyway, I'm in that world right now.
I love
I'm
that.
in that kind of
that
state
space,
of mind.
Yeah.
Headspace, yeah. So if you and Lorenzo would like to continue the journey, I'm right there with you.
Okay. We probably will. I mean, we're like revisiting all the Last of Us. We're almost done with that.
Oh yeah.
I'm not okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
You're feeling. I know. Hannah sends me a text the other night. She's like, "Hey, I'm kind of down. I'm feeling really down after this episode."
I was just shocked because everyone was warning me for episode 3. They were like,
"Right,
that's gonna kill you."
Right. That's what I thought was gonna get you.
No, that didn't. It was episode 5.
Yeah.
Okay, and
that
if you know, you know. And I'm not. I'm still.
I can't wait for you guys. Then we can watch the second season together.
Yeah.
So that's fun. Okay. Well,
just all little lessons I'm picking up through
what a
watching
great
TV
segue
shows.
into our main event. Listeners, listen up. Hannah and I, we might sound young.
We might look young.
We might look like we're in our prime, but we're here to tell you.
We're old and crusty.
We're a couple of hags. Couple of old witches. We're not as young as we used to be.
No.
But with age comes wisdom. Like we always say, with age comes wisdom. And today for this event, why are we silly right now?
I don't know.
For this main event, we're going to talk to you guys about some life lessons.
Just roomie to roomie.
That we've picked up. We've been alive 3 decades. 3 decades full of wisdom here.
Yeah.
So we're calling this episode Welcome to Your 30s.
Hey mama, welcome to your 30s.
Oh, mama, go, go, go. We didn't plan that.
No.
That was improv.
That was good.
Yes and.
I need to leave.
Anyway,
okay.
We're going to tell you about we'll just take turns kind of giving some of the things that we've picked up along the way.
Yeah.
That,
to be clear, I'm like a couple of months into my 6 months.
Oh, yeah.
6 months.
Hannah just turned 30 last year.
I just entered.
Right. And I'm kind of on my way
you're
out.
on your way out, yeah.
Of
Bye.
my 30s. Not yet. I'm in my later 30s. So we're going to share just some of these kind of life lessons that we've picked up. So it could get pretty tender and sincere in here. Don't mind us.
Mm-hmm. Just crying. That's what we do now.
Do you want to kick us off?
Sure. I'm going to start off kind of light.
Okay.
Stretching is important.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize. We didn't talk about this before. Stretching is important.
It's so important.
I don't do it enough, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, like you have to keep your joints loose.
Right.
And you got to keep your body, you know.
Do you stretch every day?
I try to, but it's hard.
Well, you go to the gym every day.
I know,
you don't
but
stretch before your workout or whatever? Or after?
I mean, after they do stretches, but I always have to get ready for work. So I just...
So you skip the stretch?
Skip the stretches.
Whoa.
I know. It's not good.
We need to stretch more.
We need to stretch more. Lorenzo's incredible at stretching.
I know. I was just going to say, he stretches every day.
Every day, multiple times a day.
He must be so bendy.
I can confirm.
We need to stretch more.
Yeah, we need to stretch more.
And even if it's, I feel like I've read and I've heard it doesn't take a lot of time.
No.
5 to 10 minutes.
5 to 10 minutes. And you can do it laying down, like on your bed.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, especially, we both experience sciatica pain.
Correct.
We got to stay on top of that.
Do they like in the morning or at night or both?
I think whenever you can squeeze it in.
Okay.
Probably the more you can do it, the better.
More stretches, the better.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like, are you stretching before your runs?
I usually stretch before.
After your
I think
runs?
I don't stretch after, which is bad, and that's because now my quads are sore from yesterday's run. So, okay.
It's important. Our
Stretching.
bodies are decaying.
Our bodies are decaying. We need to do our best.
Yes.
To prolong.
Yes.
Their health.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you for that. My first lesson. Nobody knows what they're doing.
Oh, that's good.
And the older I've gotten, it's like the more you realize everyone's kind of just winging it.
Mm-hmm.
No one has like a guide or a map or a playbook. It's like you just kind of go off of what you have learned in your own life experience and what you've seen from other people. But no one, I don't think anyone's saying like, I've got it solved.
Yeah.
Here it is.
Yeah.
You know, and I think just knowing that gives me some comfort because it's like, because oftentimes I get like that imposter syndrome or like, I'm not a real adult. You know, that's how I feel often. But it's comforting to know that other people feel this way too.
Yeah.
That it's like other people might feel like I'm not a real adult or I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I just do my best every day.
Yeah.
You know, that old joke where it's like, what do you do for a living? And then they're like, oh, I do my best.
Yeah.
I'm doing my best.
Yeah. No, it's so true because I feel like, especially with social media and stuff, you see people's like the highlight reel of everybody's life.
You compare.
You can look and be like, oh, they look like they have it all together.
They don't.
But in reality, we're all just trying to make it, you know?
Just trying to survive.
They might just be, you know, here with a house, but they're still trying to figure it out.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Everyone's kind of walking their own path.
Yeah.
And just because someone's a little bit ahead of you
on
the path doesn't mean they have it figured out. It just means they might just
took a different road.
Right. Oh. Gosh. Okay. Next.
Okay. My second one, it's okay to be selfish with your time.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, give me an example.
Well, I've talked about how I can be a people pleaser.
Same.
And I would feel guilty like saying no to things or canceling or like like setting up those boundaries, but I think it's okay if you're feeling like you need time for yourself or you need time to prioritize a specific relationship. It's okay to be selfish about that and just be like,
totally.
I can't.
Well, and especially speaking as a married woman,
I
have experienced you guys like I know that you take the time to prioritize your marriage because that's important. And yeah, I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Like there's, as your friend, I wouldn't be mad at you if you're like, hey, like we're like, it's just going to be us this weekend. I'm like, oh, totally cool. That makes sense because you guys are married and like, you're not wanting to hang out with other people because you want to focus on you, and that goes with any relationship, right?
Yeah.
Like that. And if you just need time for yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't, and there's nothing to be like ashamed of or
Yeah,
like
no, totally.
feel guilty about.
Mm-mm.
Like, and I don't know, I feel like with adult friendships, it's like
What?
like that's just having a good friendship is like recognizing like it's okay if this other person
right.
needs that.
And I think if you're friends with like a mature person, they'll they'll understand like the kind of the hierarchy of relationship. It's like, hey, like my marriage comes first, right? Or like I'm gonna do this for me.
Yeah.
Like and I wouldn't be like, oh, like you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, Hannah doesn't hang out with me or whatever, you know? So it's like doesn't make sense. So and I feel the same way. Do you think it's harder to cancel plans with like close friends or like friends that are just you're not as close with?
Yeah. Well, I think there's like a different level too, because if I can get recharged by hanging out with people, but like the people that like know me or like I feel the most comfortable with because I don't feel like I have to be on,
right?
Which we've talked about before,
Totally.
like, but so it's harder for me to cancel on those people because it's like, well, it just feels like home and family anyway. So I'm not like exerting any energy like hanging out with you. You know what I mean?
Right. No, totally.
What I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
But like it's with those other friends that are kind of like, you know.
Like you don't want to hang out with them anyway?
I just feel like this is bad and I just want to
no, and we're just being honest. Like
it's just like though like all friendships matter, but like there are certain ones that kind of take a little bit more out of you.
No, totally. I think there are
or energy wise.
There are relationships that you are like you're saying recharged.
Yeah.
And then there's other relationships where it's like I get drained a little bit faster.
Yeah.
So and that's not a dig on anyone.
No,
it's just
both
like
are valuable.
Yeah, it's just like a different dynamic.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
Like for me, it would be. I feel like it would be easier for me to cancel on the relationships that not cancel. Like this seems. I'm talking about like if you're hanging out.
Yeah.
Like if reschedule. Let's say reschedule.
Reschedule. Yeah.
It would be easier for me to reschedule like a hangout with someone who I know that I have to be on with.
Yes,
you
that's
know?
Exactly what I was trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's like I gotta exert X amount of energy here.
Yes.
And I'd rather let me reschedule.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I get that.
Yeah. So yeah, I think lately I've just been trying to be like, no, I need this time for me.
Yeah.
So, which is hard.
Thanks for not rescheduling the pod.
I wanted to today, I'm not gonna lie. But I was like, no, this is my bro.
Love you, dude.
Love you.
All right. Number 2 for me, emotional suffering.
Oh my God.
Hold on, let me finish.
Okay.
Emotional suffering produces depth of character.
Wow.
And let me explain. So, in my life, I have experienced emotional suffering from childhood to adulthood. It's like it runs the whole kind of spectrum of that. And I've realized and I've noticed that in those times where I'm suffering emotionally, there's like the growth in those moments is way more than growing in different, like in like a more positive sort of experience. So, and it could be any kind of it could be failure, it could be like adversity and whatever you're facing, it could be loneliness, heartbreak. Whatever kind of emotional suffering, it oftentimes produces in you, I don't like a type of processing that involves like something deeper. So because you have to look inside yourself and figure out like, all right, what is this that I'm going through? How am I processing, and how am I gonna resolve this?
Yeah.
If you can resolve it at all. And oftentimes I've noticed too that it leads to empathy. Ultimately leads to empathy, which I think more people need to be more empathetic. So I'm not saying you should subject yourself to emotional suffering. I'm just saying like life naturally throws these things at you. Life naturally, you're going to find yourself in these situations where you will suffer emotionally.
Yeah.
And I think it would, benefit you if if you're open to like looking inside and being introspective, and just kind of opening yourself up to yourself, and just like kind of processing through that in a way that's like, okay, what am I going to do with this? Can you relate? Or
totally. Yeah. Okay. I think you have to allow yourself to like feel what you're going through.
Yes.
And then like eventually you can kind of come and like reflect on like what you learned and what you took from that. Like, I think everybody does need some time to kind of be in that space. Yeah. And then eventually you kind of, looking back however many years or days or months down the road,
you always come back or come out of it feeling better and being better for it.
But that doesn't discount the process of going through.
Absolutely not. Yeah. And that's what I'm talking about. I think you really got to lean into what if you're going through something, lean into some of that and try to mine the diamond that's being kind of put under pressure there.
Yeah.
So anyway.
No, I like that one. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, my third one is you can't make everybody happy.
So true. We as chronic people pleasers.
Yes. I feel like we try. I think all of mine are like connected a little bit.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely has gotten me into a lot of trouble. It's hurt
trouble?
It's hurt a lot of people. I think by me trying to like
hurt people.
I think
by being a people pleaser.
Yeah,
I feel like that's the opposite.
No, I think if you are constantly trying to make everybody happy, for me specifically, I would try to make everybody happy by fitting everybody into like small pockets of time.
I see.
Everything feels rushed. Right. No one's really getting Hannah like at her full 100%. Yeah. Everyone's getting like 10% of Hannah.
Right.
Which is not good.
Which is not fair.
And I have nothing for myself.
Right.
So I've been trying really hard to like just, again, set boundaries, say no.
Yeah.
And then really focus on the relationships that require the most of me or that I want to give.
You want to invest the most of yourself in. Yeah. That's deep. Wow. Deep. Well.
Wait, have you know Brene Brown?
Yeah.
Did you see it was like a clip of her like talking about how her and her husband communicate when they get home from work?
Mm-mm.
So they do like nobody can ever give 100%. So she says like when they get home from work, she'll be like, okay, I can give 80%. And he'll say, I'll give 20%. Or I can only give 20%. And then she'll say, I'll cover the 80.
Oh.
So like they like check in and have those
Wait, that's really sweet.
I know. So like they check in and have those like that communication so they kind of can gauge where they're at.
Yeah.
Of like, I'm only at like a 10% today. Today sucked. And then your partner's like, okay, well I can give you like 90 or whatever.
Yeah. What happens if both people are low?
Well, then you just like figure out a game plan. But at least you know where each other's at.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's good.
I don't know why that popped in my head, but
we're going to do that every time we record.
When we start the pod. Like that's instead of what's good.
And we used to live together. Hey, I'm at 5%.
Okay, I'll cover your 95. I don't know why I brought that up, but like, just
that's good. No, that's
being
good.
mindful of like, if I'm only at a 10%, I can't give any more.
No, that's that's fair. And that goes back to what you were saying. Like, I need to focus on me.
Yeah.
Like, if you know going into it, like, hey, this is not going to be good. That might be a time to reschedule. Yeah. Right. Love that. Okay. Well, I feel like we're saying the same things because my next one is self-awareness is a priority.
Yes.
And mine kind of build off of each other too. I think that's what you were saying before. So self-awareness, I wasn't aware of this until much later, much too late, I think. I've put a lot of bullet points under this one, so I'm just kind of going to go through.
Okay.
They may not be kind of related in any way, but we are our own worst enemy. So I think if you aren't self-aware, you have the tendency to kind of sabotage yourself without knowing that you're doing it. So that's important. And then I think for me, the what I'm still learning and kind of trying to put into practice is how to regulate and manage my emotions, specifically when when it has to do with like my insecurities. So like everyone has insecurities, right? And our tendency is to protect your insecurities. And it's like, oftentimes we use kind of unhealthy measures to protect our insecurities. So you might lash out, or you might get really defensive, or, and other things. You might, substance abuse, whatever, right? So it could be all these other things. But if you're able to kind of manage that and regulate some of those things and kind of be vulnerable with yourself, I think this is what we were saying in the last one too. It's like you're closer to like to self-acceptance in that way. You know more about this because you actually go to therapy, but it's like if you don't know though, I've spent like kind of ever since I turned 30 is I've looked more inward and really thought more introspectively about some of these things, because like I've learned through relationships and like connections with people, it's like sometimes the way I act or my behavior is sometimes can be hurtful or offensive, or like I didn't react appropriately, so it's like I take some of these things and I look and I really try and examine like, okay, what can I do better for next time? Thoughts on this?
No, I mean, that feels like the biggest lesson, because like at the root of everything we've been saying, there's some sort of like, you have to have some sort of self-awareness to even learn any of these other lessons. Like you have to take that time to like look inward, like you said.
I think I can say confidently that like in my 20s, probably not super self-aware. And I think, I don't know if this comes with life experience or if you're just like, other people are just naturally more in tune with this. But I feel like for me, the more life I live, the more self-aware I've become, because of I've just experienced more, so life experience adds to that. But I feel like some people are already self-aware at a younger age.
I know.
So I don't know if they have experienced emotional suffering early, so they know, they kind of grow up a little faster. How would you say you gauge?
I know. I don't know. I think really therapy helped me become more self-aware. I've been going to therapy since I was like in high school. But I think, but it's hard because you're kind of just going through life, like living your life and doing your thing. And then usually there's like an event that will happen, or like someone will talk to you about it. And then that's when you're kind of like, whoa.
Yes. Yeah. It's like, it's almost like you don't become self-aware until someone makes you aware of it.
Exactly.
And it's like, that's kind of like a shitty way to find out, right?
It hurts for sure, because you're like, wait, I've been living my entire life.
Yes. Like, why didn't no one told me this earlier?
It's embarrassing because you're like, I've just been out here acting like this. Yes. And no one
has said anything.
Yeah.
Until now.
And now
I'm in my 30s.
Yeah. And so now it's like you have to kind of rewire.
Right. Yes. That's a great.
Yeah. You have to like go in and be like.
You have to go in there with your little screwdriver and your little tools and be like, what's happening in here? Yeah. And in here.
Yes. And how do we connect everything? Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah.
But I think, like you said, like being open to it.
Yes. And I think and
being willing.
I think that's number one, is like you have to be willing to know that you don't know everything about yourself even.
Going back to your first one.
Right. Because nobody knows
anything. Oh, man. Okay. My fourth one, stand up for yourself. I
sense a theme with yours.
I feel like, well, again, people pleaser.
Right.
So I can usually just kind of let people
walk all over you.
Yeah, walk all over me, manipulate me, things like that. And I know that this is like a tactic or a defense mechanism that I learned growing up. It's better to just stay quiet.
Keep the peace.
Keep the peace, stay quiet, and it'll be okay. But I'm kind of just like over it.
You're having to unlearn that, right?
Yeah, I'm sick of it, and I feel like, I mean, in every kind of facet of my life, I've had to learn how to stick up for myself and what that looks like. And I just feel like within the like my later 20s, and then even now it's just learning like nobody else is going to advocate for me the way that I need to advocate for myself.
Right.
Like, yeah, I have friends that can stand up for me. I have Lorenzo who can stand up for me, but it has to be me, like at the end of the day.
Totally.
And I think specifically career wise, like I just kind of sit by and like think that, you know, I don't know, someone's going to do it for me. Like someone's going to advocate for me. And I feel like I've had to.
What do you mean?
I don't know, like with getting raises or like promotions and things like that. And it's just like I've kind of missed, I feel like I've missed opportunities because I just kind of.
You haven't stood up for yourself.
Yeah. And so I just stand up for yourself. You know what I mean?
No, totally. And I think that goes back to that. And that's what I'm learning too is you don't have to, you can just be yourself. I'm going to tell a very quick anecdote. Okay. And you already know this about me, but in high school and in college, I never listened to rap music because I was afraid of it. Yeah. Because I just wasn't like, I didn't know, I wasn't exposed to it at a young age. So like I didn't listen to a lot of rap music. And it wasn't until we started living together that I was exposed, because you guys listen to a lot of rap music. And I realized that rap music is just like any other genre of music. It's just like it's a different message in a different language. So like you just have to learn that, you know, and the more you listen to it, the more you learn what it is. But in high school and in college, I used to think like I wasn't cool enough to listen to rap music, or like who people who listen to rap music are like way cooler. And so I try to force myself to listen to rap music to just like have some kind of like street cred or whatever. I don't know. And so like I would like try to listen to it, but I don't think I was doing it for the right reasons. And so I never got into it. And like then I realized, oh, you can just, it's okay. You don't have to like rap music. You can just be yourself. And you don't have to like, if someone says like, oh, do you listen to rap? You can just say, no, I don't. And not like feel any like, you know, shame or like guilt. It's just like, oh yeah, I never like, I'm not in, but now I am. Now I like rap music now. I don't listen to as much as you guys do, but now I don't like recoil at the sound of it. Right? Yeah. And that's growth there. But like, I guess what I was getting at is like, you don't have to like, you don't have to conform to, you know, I think, is that what you were getting at? Like, you don't have to kind of people please or like conform. You don't have to like bend yourself into something that you're not. Yeah. You know?
Yeah. You can like advocate for who you are. Right. Stand up for who you are. Right.
And it's, I like tell that story only because it makes me, I cringe at that. It's like, I try to like put myself in like to fit myself in this like little mold to please other people. But really, one, no one cares what music you listen to. And like two, it's like why did you do that? Like why did you feel like you needed to conform to that? Yeah. You know?
Yeah. And I think for me too, another side of it is like I can tend to be like very codependent. Where like I mean I've one of my goals this year was like the finances, and I shared how like I don't really do any of that. Like Lorenzo handles all of that. And like I'm like I need to learn how to do that for myself and take control of that and not be so dependent.
Oh, yes, dependent on him.
Yeah. I don't know. There's so many like layers and sides to it, but
yeah. But stand up for yourself.
Because those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't.
Those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. Good. My next one is something that it's a phrase that I picked up in the last couple of years. And I think there's actually a book with this title, or someone wrote a book about this, but I haven't read it. But the phrase is progress over perfection. And the first time I heard that it really resonated with me, because I have the tendency to, and you know, like I want this immediate, like kind of like, I want to be there already. Like I want to, whatever kind of growth or development or whatever it is, it's like I want to be at my final stage already. Like I want to have arrived at whatever it is, but it's not. I'm learning now that it's more of like it's consistency over immediacy. Like if you just put in the work little by little, you're going to get there eventually, and it's like, it's not about, well, like let's take working out, for example. Like I just want to be like ripped already, but obviously that's not gonna, or you want to run a marathon, but that's not gonna happen without putting in the work, So if you're consistent, I think that's part of it too, is like you have to be, action is vital. So if you're putting in the work consistently, and maybe it's not a lot of work all at once, but if you're putting it in day after day, then you're gonna show some progress. And that's better than just like, I'm perfect. Like I'm here.
Like no one can ever be perfect. Like no one
right,
can
and no
ever
one's gonna
reach
be
that
exactly.
standard.
Exactly.
So it's like, as long as you're making progress each day, those are the wins that you should celebrate.
Yes, and that's what I have had to learn. So like even with writing a novel, it's not about like, I want to be done already, but like you got to put in the work. So, and it's not, I'm not saying you have to, it's not about like writing chapters and chapters every day. It's like, did you write a little bit today? Like, did you write like a paragraph? Because that's something.
That's huge.
So it's about those little steps along the way. So I think Miley got it right.
She did.
Ain't about how fast I get there.
Ain't about what's waiting on the other side.
It's the climb.
Thank you, Miley. Okay, my last one, which I feel like we've talked about a lot, but it's the biggest lesson I've learned so far, is that time is precious.
Yes.
And I had a moment this weekend. I was with Lorenzo. We were just like talking about how long we've been together. And I was like, we've been together for 13 years.
Total.
Like it's just like, it's crazy how that.
Like from the moment you guys started.
Yeah. Going on 13 years. It'll be 13 years this July. But like, it's just crazy how like our life just like flashed before, like it's just like we just like time traveled to now. It was like a blink of an eye. So we were just like talking about like how when we were younger, it was like all we wanted was like to be married and like to have kids and all this stuff. And now we're like here, and it's just like, now we like, I don't know, I just want everything to slow down, and I want to like, I wish we could like, I don't know.
I heard a phrase this weekend. It was the days are long, but the years are fast. So it's like when you're in it, it feels like forever, but looking back, it's like, whoa, it went really fast.
It's so crazy. And it's like, this is the first time where I've started to really think about aging, and like not in like the like, I don't know, like not in like the physical sense, like more so just like getting older, watching other people get older. Like, I don't know. It just, time is so precious with all of that.
I think we've mentioned this before, that we're in the stage of life now where people that we know are like, our parents are getting older, and like our friends are getting older, and we're having to deal with kind of the issues that you never thought you'd be facing, because it's like, oh, those are old people issues. It feels so far away. And now we're here, and it's like, oh, wait. What's like, I have to, what?
I had the weirdest thought, and this might be TMI, but I feel like the girlies will get it. Remember how one of my icks was like being on your period? So I had a moment in my last period where I was like, man, I'm not going to have these. And like,
you're running out of periods.
Like, are they beautiful? And then I was like, Hannah, you're so dumb. They're not.
I know. I think that's important to appreciate those. It's like the little things, because that's all you have. And when it's gone, it's like, well, there it goes.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye, tampon.
Well, and this leads right into my last one: experiences over possessions. And that's something that since I've been in my 30s, that's something that I've kind of adopted, is like, I'm maybe like when we were younger and we were like starting to make money, it's like, oh, I can buy so much stuff. But now it's like, I don't really need stuff anymore. I just need like time and experiences with people that I love. So I want to like spend my money on like people and experiences rather than like on things, or like, because I don't need to accumulate more things and more stuff. And
You
I've
wanna
actually
accumulate more memories.
yes, exactly. Because our house is already full of stuff.
Yeah.
And if you were to go through your house right now, mine too, both, it's like you'll find a lot of things that you're like, I haven't used this in a year or more, you know? So it's like, why is it here? And it's taking up all the space. And we could probably purge a lot in our physical possessions, you know? But I'm trying to accumulate, like more memories, more experiences, and hanging out, like you said, like investing in relationships that really matter, instead of just like, I don't know, just like wasting time, you know, like that's all. I feel like at this age, we're just like trying to slow, like you said, slow things down, because it's like, why is everything going so fast? Like we need to spend more time together with each other, you know? I don't need more stuff. Just give me more time with like the people that I love, you know? So, and the people like that build you up and encourage you, like those are the relationships that I want to be around. So, experiences over possessions.
I love that. I agree.
Do you want to cry?
I kind of do. I don't want to be old.
That's the bell. Thank you so much for aging with us during this podcast.
If you have any advice or lessons you've learned,
exactly.
roomies.
If you've acquired some wisdom in your life experience, send us a DM, email us. We used to live together at gmail.com. We'd love to hear them. We should have people just like on just to talk about what, right? Because I feel like
just like life.
Life. Just like casual conversations like this. Because I feel like we could learn a lot from a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure.
And this was nice.
This was nice.
Please give us 5-star ratings on every platform. Follow us on all the socials. I feel so like mellow.
I know.
And like
it's like a coffee house vibe.
Final thoughts.
You're beautiful.
Oh wow. You're beautiful. It's true. Wow. Okay. Well, until next time, it's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun.
Bye.